As a result of my gradual rise to power in the Communist Party, my economic reforms were far more impressive than any Mao Zedong instilled. Hi, I'm Deng Xiaoping. Let's start off telling my story from the beginning. I was born in Sichuan, China on August 22, 1904, to my father, Deng Wangming, and his 3 wives. I grew up with 1 older sister and 2 younger brothers, both of whom were involved in the Chinese Revolution. By the age of 16, in the year 1919, I went to France to participate in a work-study program for Chinese students organized by anarchist revolutionaries. A few years later, in 1924, I joined the Chinese Communist Party with Zhao Enlai. In 1926, I finally left France for Moscow and spent some time studying at a university established for Chinese students by the Soviet government. Later that year, as I returned to China in 1926, I was employed as a political instructor in Fang's military academy. By 1927, I fled to work in underground communist headquarters in Shanghai, China. A couple years later, I helped establish the Guangzhou Soviet base. By 1935, Mao Zedong became the chief leader of the Communist Party, and I stayed close to him in rank. In 1937, when the Japanese invaded China, it forced Chiang Kai-shek, the president of the People's Republic of China, to join the united front with the Communist Party against the Japanese invaders. During this war, I created tactful relationships between myself and communist military leaders to help boost my career. By 1956, roughly 9 years after the war ended, I was one of the top 6 most powerful men in China. Though many saw me as a powerful figure and compared me to a living encyclopedia, I was resented by Mao Zedong for continuously making decisions without him. By 1966, Mao launched the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution and mobilized the youthful Red Guards to purge the capitalist powerholders in the party, such as myself. By 1969, my family and I were exiled to Jiangxi, China, to undergo re-education. During my time there, from 1969 to 1973, I spent most of my time performing manual labor and studying the writings of Mao and Marx, further developing my status as a communist. When Zhao Enlai was hospitalized in 1974, I was put back into a position of power, and by 1975 I was promoted to party vice chairman, senior vice premier, and army chief of staff. My eagerness to carry out the 4 modernizations and many other political reforms alienated myself from now radicals led by Mao and his wife. 4 modernizations I mainly wanted to instill were in the areas of agriculture, industry, science, and technology. The smartest method that I used to gain political power and be able to create a perfect communist society was making strong connections with the strongest people. My slow rise to power ultimately was the best in the long run because I had built up layers and layers of trust and power over the years. Reforming the economy left me with a reputation as one of, if not the most, beneficial figures in benefiting China from an economic standpoint. My pragmatic methods of work drastically improved the state of China's economy from when Mao was in power. My reign of power sadly ended on February 19, 1997, when I died.